guys, welcome to the SparkOne YouTube channel. We invite you to join us together to enter the future of creation. Why? Because we believe we can co-create with anyone on anything. My name is Hui. I'm your host today. We built a social co-creation app called SparkLand, and we call ourselves TheSpark.One. Today, it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker, Bahar Ramazanova. Hi, Bahar. How are you doing today?
Hi, Hui. I'm really feeling good today. I'm really excited to be your guest today. Thank you for the invitation. I'm from Azerbaijan, Baku, and I'm a lawyer. My background is law, and I studied in Azerbaijan bachelor. And then I went to study Turkey, Germany, and a little bit in Canada. At the moment, I'm a manager of Triprroz, founder of Triprroz. This is like an information platform for travelers. If there is a social anxiety, you should talk about it, not just stay silent. Very recently, about a year ago, there was a child bullying situation in my country, and the girl had to commit a suicide due to the bullying, and there was no one to support her, unfortunately. I was so sad because I had a very similar situation in my childhood at school. I understood, and I was so sad due to that. So I decided to protect. They decided to start to protect female children, young girls. So I asked one of my little female friends together to create a project and apply to United Nations. We defend her and other female young girls who had victim of this unfortunate situation. We won the first place. So I was really proud of myself and also the little girl that helped me with this project. Yes. So it's always like, unfortunately, I have to say I'm proud of myself. I do not want to witness such kind of situation, like dramatic situations anywhere in the world. So I decided to voice about that could be better. And we were fortunate that after this competition, we found out like in our country also, in other countries, there were new projects specifically dedicated to female protection, helping them self-defense, or just caring more, like creating situations that they feel healthy, safe. You know, let's start with law. Like many people who have, like, let's say, a law degree, let's see what are they doing. We have always injustice. It is continuing always. The problems never stop. So what are we doing? So we're not using the law in a proper way. That's a problem, I say. Luckily, law. People are suffering because of imbalance, injustice. So especially young generation females. So I decided just not just getting the diploma, but to serve the society, to help them to understand that this is their rights. They should benefit from this legislation, regulation, etc. Any kind of rules, any kind of law, regulation, rule, etc. This should serve you. This is created for us, but if we don't benefit from them, it means it doesn't work. So people, when they think about lawyers or law, they to take a black teacher in their mind. When it was just a little young girl at secondary or primary school, I was always afraid of this stuff. My teacher said you should be a lawyer because you are like they said I'm very a fair person. I can I can kind of fulfill and bring peace and justice to people's lives just since my childhood. But I was a victim always injustice at school, unfortunately. And when I was very young, I didn't know how to protect myself. But I was really lucky because my mother always was there for me. She really defended. But I hope that there were many abandoned, orphaned girls and men too, boys, doesn't matter. They couldn't defend their rights. They were unprotected. And when you're a child and you had psychology problems, you have bullet. Imagine you are bullying, and how can you grow later in your life? How can you be a nice or successful entrepreneur? You will definitely be sometime, but it won't be easy for you. Doing is being in a healthy environment and to begin with, when I first time traveled to Canada, I have been invited to conference and to talk about space tourism. I had it's not a little, actually, big problem. My visa rejected. You know what? Because misinformation by visa officer. There was a girl, and she gave me the wrong information, and I had to prepare for my presentation. And it was my first international, official international presentation. That was my idea. So what happened? I paid 100 Canadian dollars, and I would say, so imagine 100 Canadian dollars for a student from developing countries was a lot of money. So at the time, there was a work restriction. We had was scholarship holder could not work officially, so I have to only focus on my studies and my projects. So I found some lawyer from Canada. I was a lawyer, by the way, but Canadian law, I had a quick help. So unfortunately, 30 minutes Canadian lawyer consultation costed 500 Canadian dollars. Was at time was not it was not a good budget for me, not affordable. So I started just research about all the legislation. Imagine I collected everything after my research. I got my visa just in 3 days. So, but I could not properly prepare for my presentation. So then I found out that there are many international students, conference participants, they are having the same problems. They pass on Facebook. We cannot dedicate our focus on our projects. Unfortunately, we have to deal with visa stuff. Lawyers cost a lot of money, but in the person's case, lawyers don't deal with simplest questions. So I decided to launch a platform that people can easily just come over and put their questions, just type and get their answers out there without just spending much time or being stressed or just not paying lots of money, just affordable, instant, and very simple context, that law is as the name is serving to lawyers, because if I were not a lawyer, I didn't understand probably. I wouldn't understand any legal text. It is very difficult to understand the text there. And imagine you are traveling to another country, and how can you understand everything? So travelers, when they travel, they face unwanted troubles, concerning, let's say, little visa issues, starting with specifically travelers from developing countries traveling to developed countries. Mm-hmm. They always have some kind of visa issues, visa problems. So then when people wanted to settle down abroad, they don't know legislation. They have to consult with some visa consultant or lawyer. They cannot easily find a trusted experts to consult with to deal with their issues. So the problem is they have to Google, and it will take much of their time. A simple Google search doesn't help. It doesn't solve your problem. There's not a single platform dedicating to that. I find out that when people are traveling abroad, they are always searching on blogs, web blogs or forums, Facebook, then Instagram became famous for travelers. But I found out that like, every individual traveler has a different problem, has a different story. So sometimes, before it was like that, okay, I'm traveling to Australia from, let's say, from Azerbaijan to Australia, and you're traveling from Russia to Australia. You will have a different kind of experience. You'll have different kind of legal problems, like problems with your documents, maybe trouble with your, let's say, laws applying to your nationality, to your country, jurisdiction different. So there's not a single platform specifically dealing with this kind of issues. Let's say I'm traveling again to Canada, or traffic issues, and let's say rent a car, and I have a traffic problem, I got fined. I don't know what to do. Maybe they find me not appropriately. Maybe it was injustice. How can I should find a lawyer. Just so with Triprroz, we wanted to have a simple context for just individuals should be able to plan their travels. I found out that the blogs or just some famous social media forums or posts there, they break their law of privacy. Imagine every time when you travel, you have to describe your problem in open public place, and everyone will see you have been fined, or you have this money you should pay, or you have this hotel, you will stay at this or Airbnb apartment, or your ticket costs this amount of money. All of this are really easily define you. Traveler, you're not a traveler as a name. You're a person that will become a public person, and not just a public person, a person with private personal information on social media. People have to do this. They do not have, because it's really expensive, or they cannot find the right information. So we want to also cover this. We already started to make some categories there, starting with visas. Like let's say first of all, you will have your personal account. We won't share your information. It's up to you. Every time when you travel, you will automatically upload your documents or visa information in your profile section. So it will help you to gather everything, not to again lose time when you travel, because I have seen many times, even it happened to me, when I travel to another country, I have to collect documents or search with my email, everything again. It kept me somewhere to different entities, organizations, embassies, etc. So it's up to where I'm traveling. So by the way, one of the easiest travel I had was Australia. Just everything online, but still I have to gather all of other travel information, and we are humans, as you said, so we can easily forget or lose something documents. So we should create the right technology for travelers in that case. So every time you travel will help you just to connect your previous travels with your future travels easily. So we're taking the right technology with Triprroz. Then before you travel, you will have very easy journey just to plan your travel by yourself. You won't have to tell anyone else, just I'm traveling, please help me. Your friends, your neighbors, your, let's say, like workmates or groupmates, university. You don't have to tell everyone else about it. Like I've seen the travelers doing this, how to do that. Even you are going to another part of the world, this shouldn't be a nightmare for you. You should really enjoy the travel. Problem is that the people are paying much money to purchase their tickets. Like there are planes, there are lots of flights to second country, but when you reach there, you are not getting a proper help. Or before the travel, you can easily buy your ticket, but you don't know what is awaiting there for you. What's gonna happen to you?
Exactly.
I found many travelers, like they plan their travels in a different way. Expectation was different, but in fact, what happened was totally different.
Exactly.
So just imagine a very simple problem: the loss of your baggage. I know this is maybe it's not a good to say a simple problem, because imagine if you have valuable things inside of your baggage and you're losing just in 1 second your luggage, and you have to wait if the flight company or any other operator will solve this problem for you, what you should do. I have interviewed many travelers like this, and they said, we just wait for the right time. Like, okay, they call the companies 100 times when I'm gonna get my baggage back.
Right.
So, like, just lots of time, and people do not know that every mistake that happens or emerge due to the second party, you have the right to get compensation. So every kind of mistake, because if you lose your time, if you lose your thing, okay, you can get just a simple amount of compensation, but you have additional compensation. Did you lose only your baggage? No, you lose many other things too. Like, you had plans, you had to go somewhere in the state to meet someone else, or to deal with other things, your personal question. So you lose many things. So actually there are many hidden bonuses for people. And when it comes to tourism, also for travelers, but they do not know about. I, as a founder of Triprroz, want to help to make people aware of these bonuses.
Yes.
And just I know this with this current technology, we will always have legal issues, always have troubles, but there should be also equal health care for travelers.
Before the planning, you can get educated, right? And then you can get things prepared. And then you also mentioned about it is when the certain situation happens, which is typically travelers never pay attention to those potential risks, right? Like, we're just so happy, say everything gonna be positive, get on the road. But when the situation you mentioned about lost the luggage, and then people start to confront that problem, and then it's very stressful. And then how you can open your app and then really kind of getting helps about when that bad things happen. How do you actually understand what are the benefits, and then what are the things you can still reduce the loss, right? You still want your luggage back, who should call you? But if the luggage cannot get back, what's my kind of insurance or other ways about getting reduce the loss? I think that require a whole new set of the knowledge, which is
exactly.
And then very hard to get it. And then if there's a professional service like the lawyer also be available on your platform, right? And they can contact with that, because the key part for your platform, it seems to me, is a trustful information and a plus trustful services. So if those two can
trust is the main issue. That is a really good point. Trust is the main issue. People travel, they say they are taking a risk.
Right.
This is due to those problems.
Absolutely.
Even Triprroz also serves at the community of different countries. I mean, after settling down abroad, you will still have a different nationality. And I've been an international student in many other countries, and also lived a short of time there. I found the little cultural shock, cultural gap are, we have to create a world that there shouldn't be any discrimination of cultures. People should enjoy each other. And I think legal industry, legal tech will serve us in a better way. We should empower, not overpower the cultures. We have to enjoy each other company. Let's say I'm gonna just settle down, let's say in another country, or let's say people from Canada coming to Africa. I've seen many cases to work there for a job as a job seeker. They have to they shouldn't be the term that I have to obey this culture. No, you just simply should know the legislation there. I know the culture is not only legislation. I'm not talking about legislation.
Yeah.
But at the first hand, if you want to feel very safe and secure, you should know your rights and obligations in any other country. And that yes, because I have seen many times, even I myself, let's start myself, just living in another country, I feel many times stressed about it. When I find out the right legislation and my rights and my obligation, I didn't care anything else. Even I didn't know properly their language. I know that, okay, I know what can I do. I can translate. At least there was not any platform like this just to find legislation in your own language or in a similar language, that's in English at least. So yeah, but I strive to find the legislation help me a lot. So then I interviewed since 2 years almost. I'm interviewing people, and together we are creating new features, a roadmap of the product. I learned that people are traveling or living abroad with different nationality. They search for the right legislation. They want to share their rights. When you start a business, again, I will mention this about resources. You will definitely need resources to do something, but not having resources doesn't mean that you cannot go for it. When I started this business, first of all, I didn't know what is it. This was a problem. Okay, I know that people need money to pay or just to rent an office or to launch a website. Just simple examples of that. Everything is money, but I found out there are many alternative ways. From here now, I just wanted to say, females, it's good to learn coding. I know many females. I started to
help them
technologies. It's nice. But there is also no-code platforms, so there is always alternatives. So I think people who fail, they don't search. Generally, they don't search. They don't know what is right for them. Specifically for females, I think validation is really important. We have not been educated about this well. Start with schools or in our families. Unfortunately, when you look at the Forbes top 10 richest people, the richest women in the world, they are either come from inherited father or from a divorce. They become rich after divorce. Doesn't matter any gender. We have brains, we have minds. We can decide. We should have a self-control of ourselves. So we should learn self-control. We should help ourselves, So my first challenge was that I didn't know what is business, and I still that I love this topic. Probably we should focus on the process as well than maybe product. Everything happens in its time, on its time, by the way. I'm really excited about SparkLand. I know that when you start out your idea of project or some sort of product, you need a space to share yourselves huge amount of freedom without restrictions, without stress, and share, learn from other like-minded people, get motivation, get the right team. And I'm sure that SparkLand is the right place for founders, specifically female founders too, young generation of founders, school girls. If you have just some sparky idea and you want to start this, just go there, open your account, download this app, and get your sales over there. Get good advice from other founders, team up, prepare for competitions, international programs. Even if you wanted to continue your education, it's again the right platform for you to start and to go for your journey.